Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. My channel is about marriage to a woman from the Philippines. And I'll talk about dating sometimes because you have to date somebody first and get, propose to them first in order to get married. But I married my wife from the Philippines back in 2015. I came across this interesting, to me, Reddit comment, which really shouldn't be interesting because I've heard it so many times, but I hadn't seen one in a while, and it just kind of brought back memories of when I was still looking for a wife. This, I won't read it word for word, but it's about a 30-year-old male who was born in South Florida, said they had girlfriends growing up, never really struggled, but got out of a recent multi-year relationship and is going through the first prolonged period of their life that they've been single. And they talk about, opportunity to travel, work as a digital nomad in many countries. And they say it's just shocking how they go from struggling to have options in America to basically picking who I want in the countries that they've been in. They say in the United States, and by the way, please leave a comment on this topic and subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea. They say in the United States, approaches seem unwanted. Like when you go up to somebody and want to, begin talking to them, feels like they're pulling teeth and making conversations when making conversations with women. And a lot of times, if I do get a phone number from them, and they say if they do get a phone number, they don't get any response, leads to nothing. Overall, feels very difficult when, which isn't always a bad thing, but at some point you look back and realize how exhausting it feels. I've been there too, kind of demoralizing too. They say on dating apps, they're lucky if they get a match a day. Well, they're doing a lot better than I was. When I tried 4 dating sites, 2 of them twice, 2 of them were pay sites, and it just wasn't working. My wife always said, why is it that you guys have to come over here to find a wife? Well, it's because, in short, it's not easy to find a woman in the West. It sure doesn't seem to be. I couldn't. Personally, I went a very long time without a girlfriend. In fact, if I told you how long, I would probably get a strike for lying, because they would say it's just totally unbelievable that anybody could go that long without a girlfriend and not be in prison. But such was the case. And one day I decided to try the Philippines. And it came about because I had read an article that I didn't think much about a man who went to the Philippines and was having success. And then my pastor somehow came across the same article. I don't know how. And he showed it to me and said, well, make of it what you want. And so I read that. And since I had seen it before, it just immediately, I said, I'm going to do this. I knew a guy, still do, who married a Filipina back in the probably mid-90s by the time they got married. Still married today, 25, 6, 7 years later. And so I thought, let's do this. What have I got to lose? I'm not gaining any traction in the United States. It was difficult. Going to church, single women there seem to have boyfriends. Go to other churches, don't have single women there. So it was really hopeless. When I was 53, I joined Christian Filipina website. On the 5th day, I had the first conversation with my wife online, and I think I still have a screenshot of that I used for my spousal petition. That was day 5, okay, of my membership. Yes, day 5 of my membership. And she wanted someone that was just going to focus on her, and Filipinos want that. You might think, well, they don't care if I'm talking to different women because that's the way it is where you're from. Well, that's not the way it works in the Philippines. So she said, I said, well, I just joined. I kind of like to chat with more women. help my chances, of course. I just got started. And she said, well, you can chat with more women if you want, but you won't be chatting with me. And so she drew a hard line. She wanted someone that was serious. So I said, let's give this woman a chance. The other women that I had talked to, about 4 of them, chatting online. I got into it right away. And I called them or messaged them back and said, I found this woman, and we decided just to kind of focus on each other. None of those 4 women were upset with me. They all got back to me. Amazing. And they said, I hope it works out for you. That's good. Congratulations. Hope you get married. But if it doesn't, you know where to find me. That's where my so-called number 2, what they said. And so I, devoted the next 17, 18 days with my then girlfriend. And on the 18th day that I knew her, 23rd day of being on Christian Filipina, I asked her if she would marry me. And she said, yes, if you come and meet me. So I did. I had some vacation, because this was back in April. I usually, when I was working, didn't want to take a day off until about July, save my vacation. So I had it saved. I went down there, spent a whole big month to get married to her. I went down there to marry her. I didn't have a lot of doubts, but I figured, well, if God led me out here and then was going to, cause something bad to happen, I wouldn't know what to say. But I needed to go find a wife. I was going to try this. America wasn't working for me. I mean, look, I think that the women in the Philippines are more eager to get married, easier to get married. You have to ask them to marry you. Go and visit them. So I think it's easier over there. I think you'll find it encouraging to seem like you have opportunities. Now, I've heard it's kind of not as easy as it was 10 or 20 years ago, but I happen to still think you've got a much better chance overseas. Philippines, they speak English. They supposedly tend to be more conservative. Well, that always depends on the person. So we got married in only 54 days. That's not even 8 weeks from the time I had my first hello, I'd like to, get to know you more. I like your profile. I sent her a wink, and she responded. We set up a day to talk, and we got married in 54 days. So it was back in 2015. Right now it's November of 2024. And my wife's had 10 birthdays since we've been married. I can hardly believe it. So this is just one of those opportunities for me to, talk to single men who probably are most of the people that are watching my channel. But believe me, I can relate to being alone for a very, very long time and wanting to give up, wanting what I did wrong, if God is holding something against me, if I'm just never going to get married. I got married quickly, very quickly, 54 days to a woman from the Philippines after not getting anywhere here in America. It does take work to stay married. I was ready for that. My wife and I have put in the work. We're still married. We're doing very well after almost 10 years. And so, look, I'm the same person that wasn't finding a date, get somebody to get married to in America. And I've been married for 10 years now. It didn't seem all that difficult. I just found somebody I liked, started a relationship. We talked 4 hours a day. When I say talk, I mean combination of talking and texting, video chatting in the morning, in the evening, more on the weekends. And quickly I said, what am I waiting for? I want to ask her to marry me. What's the worst that can happen? She says no, or not yet. She said yes, if I come visit her, which I promptly did, bought a wedding ring, went down there in end of April, an appointment at the embassy, got my stuff in order over there, met her family, friends, principal sponsors, and we got married. So I agree with this one, talking about the discrepancy in dating opportunities between America and outside countries. So give that some thought. Maybe you'll find love beyond the sea.